Thank you so much for buying my wedding guide template. I really appreciate it. I think this has been super helpful for me in my business, and I hope that it helps you too. So, this is a tutorial for how to use the Photoshop files. So, let's get started. If you go over to the right here, or actually before I do that, so up here is all your open files. So this is each page of the document. So one, that's the page, or page one, page two, etc. And if you click these double arrow over here, you can see all the files. You got 32 pages. So I'm going to start with page one. Over here on the right is all your different layers. So when you click something on the page, for example, this white rectangle, your logo gets highlighted over here. And if I click the text, title text is highlighted. So that's just kind of an easy way to see kind of what you're doing. So let's start here, your photo. So when it says that, you're just going to replace what's in there with one of your photos. So to do that, if you're on a Mac, you're going to press Control and click on that layer. If you're on a PC, you're just going to right click and then go up to Replace Contents and choose a photo. Alright, so depending on your photo, or on the size of your photo, it might not fit perfectly onto the page. So to resize it, you're going to press Command T, Control T if you're on a PC. And here you can see this photo is very big. I can't even see where the boundaries end on this page. So I'm just going to do Command minus a couple times just to zoom out. And then I can resize it here by dragging one of the corners. So when you're dragging, make sure that you are holding Shift because otherwise it will distort the proportions. If you hold Shift, it keeps the dimensions proportional. Alright, so there you go. Click Enter when you're done, and then Command plus to zoom back in. Alright, so now my photo fits on the page nicely. And then if I were to do this, so what happened there is that photo that was all the way in the back, it's been brought up, so now it's like in front of all of the text, which is not what you want. So I have my layers ordered correctly, basically, so that the photo is on the bottom here, which means it's all the way in the back, and your logo on top means that it's going to be in front of everything else. So if you find yourself, if you're kind of wondering where something went, just check that your layers are in the right order. Alright, so then if I go up one, black rectangle, that says black rectangle to make text stand out. So basically I just put a black rectangle at opacity, I don't know how to say that, opacity 27%. If you wanted to change it, click that and drag this. So if I have it at 100, then that's probably not what you want. If you have it at 0, it's totally gone. But I think around 26 or 27 is a good number. That way it just kind of brings more contrast between the text and the photo. Another thing you can do over here, these little eyeballs, if you click one, that layer is hidden. So if I wanted to get rid of the text, I would click this and it's gone. Down here is the trash can, so if you want it to be completely gone, like you know that you don't want this black rectangle here, just click that layer, click the trash can, and it will be gone. But let's go up to where it says your logo. So you're going to do the same thing that you did for the photo. Control, replace contents, and this is my logo, so I'm going to do that. That is a little small, so I'm just going to do Command T, resize it, and remembering to hold Shift, and then I'm just going to move it over. So that red line tells me that it's centered on the page. I would probably use a white version of my logo for this, but it depends on what your background photo is. So, just depends what you're using. And then let's go over to the text. So if I double click that, it gets highlighted. And you can change your font up here, whatever you want. Let's do Montserrat. This is where you change the size. So if I want to make it a little smaller, there we go. And then you can drag it. When you're trying to move something, make sure that you're using this tool. Or you can also click V for a quick shortcut. But yeah, and then you can just move everything around. And let's go back to our text. So that's where we change our size. This here is where we change the color. So if I wanted it to be black, I could do that. If you move this over, you can see it gives you a preview. But black doesn't look good with this photo. So maybe I wanted like a bright yellow. Oops, that's not bright. There we go. Like a bright yellow like that. I'd probably just go with white for this one, but use your colors, whatever you like, and then just click OK, and it'll save it. Alright, so that is the first page. Let's go over to page 2. So this is kind of my introduction. If you see here, there's kind of like this rectangle going all around. So that just means my entire page is selected. So what you're going to want to do is press Command D. It's going to be Control D if you're on a PC. So just deselect that, and then you can work on these layers. So I'm just going to double click this text. It gets highlighted. Maybe I want to change it to say something else. Say hi. Oops. Hi, I'm Anna. Okay, so then I'm going to go move back over here, or just press V. No. So I'm going to click off there, and then just press V, and move this. Maybe I want it to be down here. And you can change that color, change the size of that text. All that is up here. And you're totally welcome to use my copy for the whole thing, but I do recommend going in there and rewording it just to make it fit you, because you probably don't talk the same way that I do. So just little things to make your PDFs and all your marketing materials more personable is really going to help you. So what I recommend is either rewriting this or just rewording it. Yeah, but that is your body text. So you can move that. Double click to change the font size or color, all that. Alright, so there you go. And let's do one more page. Let's do page 6. This one kind of has a lot going on. Alright, so this is a good example of the different layers. So you can see that the photo is here, and that's the white rectangle. So if I moved it up above the header text, the text is now covered. Okay, so you see how this border is here going around? So you're just going to Command D to unselect it. And then we're going to go over to your photo, Control, Replace Contents. There we go. So as you can see, too big. So I'm going to press Control T, hold down Shift, resize it, and move it over. Maybe I want it to go down a little further. There we go. And click Enter when you're done. So now my black text is not really showing up against this photo. So I'm just going to go over here and change it to white. There you go. That's still not perfect. It's a little hard to see. But for demonstration purposes, you get the point. Alright, and then if you go down to your text here, double click. This whole thing is a text box, and this whole thing is another text box. So again, you can reword this. And then when you go over to page 7, here is kind of the other side of the spread. So think of it as a booklet. Page 6 would be the left side. Page 7 would be the right. So for every page, you'll see that the bottom layer, I have a background color. So what I did is I just put a rectangle over it rather than changing the color of the actual background, if that makes sense. I just think it's a little bit easier that way. So if you click it somewhere where there's no text or anything, if you drag it, you'll see there's that background. So I'm going to put that back. And to change that color, super easy, I'm just going to go to the paint bucket tool. And here is where you would set your color. So that top one is what we're going to be using. Say I wanted it to be like a light pink. Click OK. If you get this message, just click OK. And then click that, and there you go. It changes the whole background. So, yeah, just play around with the colors, find what matches your brand, and then you can change your text to stand out a lot more if you need to. Alrighty, so one more thing about this. I have 32 pages. If you go to the 32nd one, it's just like a blank page. That is because I designed this to be printed. So basically this last page would be the very back cover, because I just think it looks better with the blank one rather than having text on the back cover. But if you're only doing a PDF, you probably don't need this page, so feel free to just close it if you don't want it. So once you go through every page, change all your stuff, then you are ready to save. So if you go to, it's a little bit off the screen, but just click File at the top of your computer and go down to File, Automate, PDF Presentation. So what that is going to do is it's going to save all of these files to one PDF. So you don't have to save them as individual photos. You don't have to worry about that. All you do is go to PDF Presentation, add open files. So that's going to grab all the files that you have open. So maybe if you wanted to get rid of that last page, you could click that and remove, and then you only have the 31. So make sure you have it set to multi-page document, and just save. I'm going to save it as my PDF. Save. And then the default settings are fine here, so save PDF. And it is going to probably take a little while to load, but that is it. When you're done, you'll have a whole PDF. Alright, so thank you guys again. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on Instagram, shoot me an email, whatever works for you, and I will do my best to get back to you, because I'm here to help, and I want this to work for you guys. So, yeah, that's all. Thank you again, and feel free to ask any questions.